Coming up tonight on YCU, the Attorney General announces the shootings in Walpole was justified by police. The Lebanon police dogs receive new bulletproof vest. We have highlights from the Kearsarge versus Lebanon boys lacrosse game. And Dr. Ben Tafoya gives us his insight into the tragic bombings in Boston. With more news, sports, and weather, stay tuned. It's time for YCU, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region and central Vermont. News, sports, weather, public affairs, and all that's happening in our area. The news on YCU, your local view.
Welcome to YCU. I'm David Carmichael. New Hampshire's Attorney General says police use of deadly force against a convicted felon fleeing an armed robbery was justified. Officials say that 51-year-old Larry Bonahan was fleeing a Bellows Falls, Vermont business he had just robbed on March 29th when officers from 2 New Hampshire towns pursued his truck. Bonahan led police on a high-speed chase. Police finally trapped his truck in a residential neighborhood in Walpole. Police say that Bonahan aimed a handgun toward 2 officers who had approached his truck. Allsted officer Cameron Pryor fired 5 times, striking Bonahan in the head and torso. Investigators determined the shooting was justified given his behavior. Bonahan was wanted for parole violations. The report released yesterday says police could have not known that the handgun was a pellet gun. The Lebanon Municipal Airport runway expansion saga has finally drawn to a close. The City Council voted 5-3 last night against lengthening the southern end of the north-south runway by 1,000 feet and lowering the elevation of a nearby hill by 30 feet, measures that federal regulators deem necessary for aircraft safety. The project would have required the removal of 800,000 cubic yards of rock and soil over 2+ years of work, leading to an influx of heavy truck traffic along Route 12A and one of the residential neighborhoods near the airport. Lebanon's police dogs, Officer Perkins' K9 Max and Officer Tracy's K9 Cody, are receiving bullet and stab-proof vests thanks to a nationwide animal-related Groupon event. The event ran from March 13th through the 20th and raised over $155,000 to outfit over 163 police canines with vests throughout the U.S. Macadam Mason's mother says her son would likely be alive today if his mental health counselor had been called to a confrontation with police that ended up with him being fatally hit with a stun gun by a state trooper. Rhonda Taylor told lawmakers at a hearing yesterday that the 39-year-old Thetford man suffered from a seizure disorder and likely was unable to comply with a trooper's order to lie on the ground. Senior Trooper David Schaefer shot Mason in the chest with a taser. Mason's partner, Theresa David Donis, told lawmakers she was on the scene and repeatedly told Schaefer and other troopers that Mason had a seizure disorder and was recovering from a seizure the day before and was likely going to die if he was shocked with a taser. A Vermont House committee is taking testimony on a bill that would require the labeling of foods that contain genetically modified ingredients. The bill, which excludes dairy products, cleared the House Agricultural Committee last month. The Judiciary Committee is taking testimony on it Thursday from Legislative Counsel and the State Attorney General's office. Even if the bill becomes a law, supporters expect it to be challenged in court by the biotech industry, as the State Attorney General's office has been warned. The National Conference of State Legislatures says about 17 other states are considering some sort of GMO labeling legislation. New Hampshire's business, education, and policy leaders are creating a new coalition to improve education and create stronger working relationships among the 3 sectors. The New Hampshire Coalition for Business and Education will be led by Tom Rufio, president of the Northeast Delta Dental and chairman of the New Hampshire Board of Education. Others involved include the State Department of Education, the New Hampshire High Technology Council, and the New Hampshire College and University Council. One focus will be helping business owners who say that they have jobs that require degrees in science, technology, engineering, and math, but not enough qualified applicants to fill them. The New Hampshire Senate is slated to vote today on a House-passed bill repealing the state's Fledgling Education Tax Credit program Republicans enacted last year to give businesses a tax credit for donating to scholarship organizations that send students to private or public schools. The repeal bill, passed by the Democratic-controlled House and has the support of Democratic Governor Maggie Hassan, but faces possible defeat in the Republican-controlled Senate. Repeal supporters say the law gives money to private and religious schools without accountability when the state is struggling to fund public schools. The program is also being challenged in the Stratford County Superior Court on the grounds that it unconstitutionally provides state money to religious schools. The fund is capped at $4 million, but has received only close to $135,000 thus far. After the break, we'll learn about some of the Kearsarge Outing Club current and upcoming spring and summer programs.
The YCU News continues in a moment.